How can I keep one-upping myself? First, we had backroom stands. Then, we went to lion stands. But today, we have finally reached the apex, the pinnacle of YouTube content. Every stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure versus one of every Pokémon. Truly, we've reached heaven. Unfortunately, there is a bit of an issue here. Pokémon is a big franchise, and I mean fat. There are over 1,000 different Pokémon. Look at this, it doesn't end, there's so many of them. This one Pokémon is just two mice, and then they evolve and start a little family. God, that's adorable! Despite what my devilish charisma and enormous brain would have you believe, there are too many Pokemon for me to consider every possible scenario here. So I'll do my best, but I'm sorry if I forgot about one very niche power from one very niche Pokemon. However, I did get some consultation beforehand from JoJo's, who knows quite a bit more about Pokemon than I do. At first, I wanted to make this video a back and forth type video where I go through MVPs on each side, but I don't really think that's necessary, at least for the Pokemon. We have literal god Pokemon like Arceus. Arceus?
Allow me to introduce you to the Pokemon Legends Arceus game. Arceus.
Arceus. A lot of the abilities of the Pokemon in stands overlap each other too. Dialga's powers is just a combination of all time-related stands. And the forces of nature tree are just weather report. Therefore, we're going to go through which stands I believe would do the best job at standing up to these mythical beasts. And after that, I will make my definitive canon decision whether or not every stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure could beat one of every Pokemon. Without further ado, a motorized personal vehicle consisting of 2 wheels. Oh, that's the wrong segue. Oh, hey. Were they having a 2-for-1 special at the stand store? Green Day is a stand that infects a large area with a devastating mold. The mold lays dormant, but once the infected lowers in altitude... Mondays, am I right? This power kinda sucks because it can be easily countered by not going down. But just having Green Day in play limits the Pokemon's mobility and attack capabilities. Moves like dig and dive become death sentences, and if some Pokemon get infected by the mold above the fight, they just have no way to re-enter it. In Vento Arreo, we see Green Day paired up with Oasis, an ability that can sink people and objects into the ground, making for an effective combo. But what if I told you there's an even better ability to pair with Green Day? You'd say, well, duh, you already told us 50 seconds ago. Seamoon is the most terrifying stand in the entire 35 years of the manga running. Seriously, this thing is what still has me tossing and turning at night. Seamoon is the quintessential gravity stand. With all the gravity foreshadowing in Stone Ocean, you knew it was coming. Seamoon repels everything away from the user with a very potent gravity-esque force. So think of it this way, the user basically becomes the center of a reverse gravity phenomenon. It's a bit like, look, it's a lot, just roll with it, okay? All Seamoon would have to do is get higher than all the Pokemon, and then all the Pokemon will be pushed downwards, allowing for Green Day's mold to shred every single Pokemon. Well, more like almost every Pokemon, because there's definitely some who could withstand some extra gravitational pressure, like, Palkia. I mean, after all, he is the god of space, and if you distort space, who's to say you can't also distort gravity?
But I'm not done yet!
Seamoon just so conveniently happens to have a secondary, disgustingly frightening power to turn any object or creature inside out with a single touch. So yeah, that's pretty deadly. I don't know many Pokemon that would survive being turned inside out. Imagine bringing that to the Poke Center. I did, however, come up with the perfect Pokemon to counter this ability. Ditto. Since Ditto can shapeshift into seemingly whatever it wants, all it would need to do is to shapeshift each of its individual cells into Morbius strips, a shape discovered in 1858 that is defined by its unique characteristic of neither having an inside nor an outside, making it immune to being turned inside out. But you all knew that. The Wonder of You.
No.
Before I begin, my lawyer has recommended I give the following statement. Taru is both a fantastic character who deserves praise and also a terrible character who deserves ridicule. Alright, now that I've covered all the bases, the Wonder of You is a great defensive stand. One might say it could work A punch from Star Platinum does the same amount of damage to a person as it does a god. Calamity, on the other hand, deals damage through equity. How progressive. Once you're inside the flow of Calamity, the universe itself will do whatever it can to you. And if these godlike Pokemon do really have any kind of weakness, the Wonder of You would be the stand to find that weakness. The only problem is if the Pokemon play defense and choose not to pursue the 89-year-old... Wait, 89? No, that can't be right. What I'm trying to say is the Wonder of You only triggers once the stand is being pursued. If the Pokemon play defense and choose to let the stands come to them, Wonder of You ain't gonna do anything. Which just so happens to be as much as Toru's contribution to JoJo. Once this video comes out, I'm probably gonna be banned from ever talking about JoJolion again. So I might as well lay it all out on the table. Blue Hawaii is a pretty good arc. Blue Hawaii turns any organism it touches into a zombie. As a zombie, they have one goal: to attack the target set by Blue Hawaii. The zombie presumably knows where the target is at all times and does nothing but pursue the target. The zombie, however, is stupid and only moves directly towards the target in a straight line, meaning it can get caught on a wall, unable to know how to go around it. There can only be one zombie at a time, and whenever anyone else touches either the zombie or any bodily fluids from the zombie, gross. The original zombie goes back to normal, and whoever touched the zombie becomes the new zombie. Get it? Good. So why do I think this would be effective against Pokemon? Well, once a zombie touches a target, Blue Hawaii gets to mind control the target. See where I'm going? Arceus is a literal god, and Blue Hawaii allows the stands to take that godlike power and bring it onto their side. All they need to do is have a zombie touch Arceus once. Even just touching any other Pokemon would instantly incapacitate it as it becomes a mindless zombie. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Seriously though, I can make any top 5 stands that could blank video, and Heaven's Door would almost always be number 1. I usually don't like reusing stands I've talked about in previous videos. It helps keeps my videos fresh and unpredictable. So that should already tell you how absolutely bonkers Heaven's Door is if I'm bringing it back. Heaven's Door can write commands into any living creature, and that creature will obey its command. I'd give a more detailed explanation, but I already did that in my Backrooms video, which I'm gonna assume you've all seen. I mean, how else could you understand the complexity of the Chewy Dog 1 lore ARG Plus edition? Hold on, let me just check. I don't know why I'm wasting my time. There's no way people would watch such peak content without 91%?
Oh my god.
91% of you aren't subscribed. You insult me. Fine. Stay a peasant. Me and the other elite 8.2% are too busy being an exclusive club anyways. Blue Hawaii I chose because they had the ability to control one Pokemon, but with Heaven's Door you can control as many Pokemon as you can ride on. Now this may be a bit harder of a task to pull off than simply having a zombie touch the Pokemon, but we can use Blue Hawaii to incapacitate the Pokemon so that Heaven's Door can easily write down whatever it wants on it. Just like the Lions video, when the stands are outnumbered, the best option is to use the enemy's numbers against them. A lot of these Pokemon are just so much stronger than stands, so to win the fight, they just need to take control of the strongest Pokemon they can. Warning, warning, warning. Spoiler warning for Stone Ocean Batch 3. Warning. Heavy weather is the true form of weather report. It's uncontrollable, automatic, and could end all life on Earth. You know, if it feels like it. Heavy weather has 2 abilities. First, the complete control of the weather, including full control of the Earth's ozone layer, meaning heavy weather can just erase it all, leaving the entire planet susceptible to deadly sun lasers. Unfortunately, that's not really going to help here, considering we quite literally have Pokemon from space. So I'd imagine they've adapted to living without ozone protection. Heavy Weather's second ability is a bit more unrealistic. So apparently, Heavy Weather can just create rainbows that, if touched or even seen, send subliminal messages to your brain, which convinces your brain that you're a snail. And then your body rapidly changes your human cells into snail cells, turning you into a snail. Man, Araki, if you're gonna be weird, just own it. You don't need to spend time trying to convince me that rainbows can turn people into snails. Just say they can and move on. At first, I initially assumed that this would only work on humans, but then I remembered that this panel exists. Why David Productions chose to cut it out of the anime adaptation, I'll never know. What if it would grow insects into snails? What about single-cell organisms? Tardigrade snails? Anyway, Pokemon would not be immune to Heavy Weather's snailification, I think. Does this Pokemon look scary to you? How about now? Hell, I could take that thing on. Just stomp on it a bit. I could probably even take on 1,000 of these, and that's what the stands are gonna have to do. We have now looked at the 6 stands I believe could put up the greatest fight against Pokemon. So, if we factor in every other stand in every other Pokemon, who would win in this fight? Well, the answer is the Pokemon. I'm messing with you. The stands. I'm double messing with you. Yeah, the Pokemon win. They win. Look, stands are strong, like really strong. Honestly, they're just downright stupid. But some of these Pokemon, man. Palkia created space, like literal space. Arceus is a god. Bro is just permanently chilling in creative mode. Stands are strong, but the Pokemon are stronger. For every the world bites the dust, King Crimson, there's a Dialga who can do all of that and more. Victini is a Pokemon that in lore can't lose. He is the victory Pokemon. Jirachi is a more versatile Heaven's Door. Ultra Necrozma is able to suck the light out of entire dimensions. Whack. Oh man, and stuff like Green Day, I don't even know if that can affect Dioxys. I don't need to justify this any further. You all know, I all know. I tried to make this video seem like it's as fair as a fight as possible, even to the old double fake out at the end. But like, come on, this is a sweep. Mew is the weakest looking Pokemon I have ever laid my eyes on, and then look at this. Thank you to JoJo's for enlightening me on all the stupid ways Pokemon could absolutely obliterate these stands. Like, if he wasn't here, I probably would have thought the stands would have won. It is ridiculous how many counters he can mention for every stand I bring up. If you watch the end of the video, you're a real one. Okay, I haven't forgot about the bingo. Okay, bye.